Oh man, it's been a long time coming. Just let's get this clear right now. Yes, I think this is a great game. A fantastic game. But for now, let's get our reward for clearing this 50-hour epic. Eh? Sounds good to you? Sounds good to me. Ida, stay back. The King's Mount is still alive. No fear here. Stay back. Ina! No. And then she died. And then she hugged it, I guess? What's going on? His mount is so calm. Ike, let them be. Nasir, what's this all about? That is her mate. As death nears, he has regained his sanity. So I guess this is one more thing we can add on to Ashnard's list. He does technically enslave Ina's lover. I almost said his name. It hasn't said his name yet. He does enslave her lover and force him to be like a mount, which is pretty messed up, I guess. So yeah, he's... I have really mixed feelings about Ashnard, honestly. King Dayan's mount is Ina's mate? How does that even work? Yeah, he doesn't look so good. Rajayon. Hey, bro. Leanne, what is it?
You think this'll help cheer up that big Lagoose? Nasala just got this for me. It's called a fidget spinner, and I think... Not now, Leanne. Wait, a Lagoose? No, it can't be. Ashnard's mount was a wyvern, wasn't it? What, you couldn't tell? And you say I'm losing it? Come on, bro, get with it. The Galdr of Rebirth, Leanne. Sorry, I don't do encores. Leanne! Fine.
What are you doing?
Be patient, please. There's something we want to try.
Huh? Oh, nope, didn't work. Oh, no, it totally worked. Racin, that's...
Leanne told me that the dragon's true form had been warped, so we sang the Galdr of Rebirth.
Sounded suspiciously like that other song, guys, not gonna lie.
Rajayon? Rajayon? Do you know who I am?
Ina?
Yes. Yes, you recognize me.
You were made to suffer because of me. I'm sorry.
Rajayon!
Ina, let's return to Goldoa. The two of us together.
I will go anywhere, my love, as long as it is with you.
Ina, from this day forward, forever. Is he gonna make it? I mean, I assume that Ike messed him up pretty badly.
Oh, Rajayon.
He was one of the dragon tribe?
That's right, he and Ina were engaged to be married. And then he was driven mad by King Dayan and his form warped.
I see. Very tragic. So yeah, that is a bit of a, I guess, a point towards Ashnard for being a jerk. But it's only a jerk towards Ina. Like, how should I put it? I don't feel like the Grail mercenaries have enough of a personal connection to Ashnard to really make me want to beat him in the same way that I want to beat somebody like the Black Knight, if that makes sense. There's not really a whole lot of personal ties to this other than him taking over the nation, but it could have been anybody at that point. You know what I mean? It could have been some random general who conquered the nation and it would still be the same effect. But but I happen to like Ina, so yeah, this little point here does get me a little bit.
Aha, is that it? Nope, dang.
I was kidding, Gabe. Come on.
Ah, here it is.
What is it, miss? Did you find something?
The medallion, Ike, the medallion. I finally have it back.
Miss, that medallion is...
Yeah, I know, the container for the Dark God.
Yeah, exactly.
Racing, Leanne. Come on. Aw, oh, damn it, miss, you made me drop it.
What? What?
Here.
Oh.
Got it. Aw, no one saw. The medallion belongs in Serenus Forest. My mother was only holding it for Lilia.
Leanne, you take it.
Oh yeah, wow, thanks. The medallion containing the powers of a dark ancient god. Thank you so much.
Thank you, daughter of Elena.
In the memory of my departed sister, I accept the medallion from you.
Okay, let's get our ending. What do you say? I think we've earned it. I definitely think we've earned it. My God, this was a long one, guys. Did you see that? 50.5 hours. Jeez Louise. I thought Tearing Saga was long. Actually, Tearing Saga was still probably about 50 hours, to be honest. But this one, man, oh man. This was a real endurance round. Okay, so it's not auto-scrolling. I was kind of afraid that it would be. For the past year, I've been focused on winning this war. I stand here today as a testament to your fortitude and commitment. I understand this will never suffice, but I wanted to take a moment to say something to you all. Oh, he's back in his regular clothes. Yeah, he's out of his lord outfit, I've just noticed. That makes sense, he was never really about that whole noble lifestyle anyways. That's a nice little detail. He says, thank you. I hope that I may continue to rely on you. Yeah, rely on us. Like, okay. Okay, bud. We all saw the last map by now. Of course. I hope that I may continue to be of service.
You've grown so much. I would like nothing better than if Commander Grail and Elena could see you now. What a long road we've traveled, and yet in many ways it seemed to pass so quickly. I'm proud to have fought beside you, Ike.
You gotta put that stuff down, Oscar. Messes with your sense of time.
We did well, didn't we? I'm sure Mom and Dad would be proud of us.
Great job, Ike. Of course, if I hadn't been by your side the whole time, victory might have slipped away. Yeah, shut up, Boyd. How about that? How about shut up, Boyd?
I mean Commander Ike. I'm gonna keep practicing so I can be better than ever. Thanks for having faith in me.
Yeah, alright. Alright, bud.
Finally, it's over. At long last, we can return to a life without war. Praise the goddess.
I suppose you want some kind of congratulations now, right? Well, too bad. Still a dick. You're a snot-nosed whelp, and I'm still better than you. Don't ever forget that. God, Shinon is awesome. I give him crap, but like... he's awesome. He's a dick, but he's totally awesome. That's why you like him. You don't like him because he's a nice guy. You like him because he's a complete asshole. And it's actually really nice to have somebody who hates the Lord. Like, that's really interesting to me that they did that. I like it a lot. Because sometimes it gets really tiring when everybody's just like, oh my God, you're the best. I love you, like, woo. And then you just have Shinon here, who's the total opposite of that. It's funny, if nothing else.
Hey, boss, we did it. Woohoo! You know, I'm completely in love with your fighting style. If I could train under you, it would be great. Just let me stick around a while, all right?
Who are you? I've no work here. I'll be leaving you shortly. If you have need of my services, you know how to reach me. My codec frequency is 141.96. The hell are you talking about, Volt? Elincia, you've had to wait a long time, but I've finally fulfilled my contract. The mission is complete.
My Lord Ike, on behalf of all Crimea and my departed father, mother, and uncle, I thank you once again.
Oh, stop. Come on now. Will you please stop doing that?
Pardon?
I think I've gotten used to a few of these noble customs and whatnot, but I still can't handle the bowing. It makes me antsy. And itchy, too.
Oh, my Lord Ike, you should probably get that checked out.
Yeah. How would that make you itchy? I need to know. Oh, glorious day of sweet victory. Praise is upon the day to the goddess did see it fit to send Sir Ike to save our land.
Thank you, General Ike. Because of you, I believe we better understand how to best serve Princess Alincia.
Through your strength, the dark clouds that blanketed Crimea have been dispelled. From this day forth, we will give our all to see the restoration of this land and its people. General, you are Crimea's savior. For your meritorious service, I salute you. Huzzah! Nay, 1,000 huzzahs. God, I wish I would have gotten to use Kieran more. I should have focused more on Kieran, because this guy's hilarious. Woo! I sure am glad that's over. When I saw King Dayin, I was sure I was done for. Or that he'd torture me. Yeah, he probably would, Rob. But you were a bull. Thank you. Now I can go home and see my family once more. Damn straight.
When I get back to the countryside, I'm gonna boast to all my family and friends that I fought under you. Largo and I are going to stay here and open up a shop.
With Crimea undergoing reconstruction, there are gonna be a lot of people moving about. We'll open an inn with good food and drink, and free butter on every table. We'll be rich in no time. Free butter, huh? I've heard of free bread, but these two. They're just doing them. Gotta respect it.
We'll let you know when everything's all set up. You can drop in anytime.
We'll even give you special rates. Maybe we should call it General Like Sin. Hey, now that has a nice ring to it. I do approve. So we're getting something from everybody. Except for Gotri. Rest his soul. Your contribution to Mist's perfect level up will not be forgotten.
General Ike, I will be taking my leave of you for the time being. I must return to Begnion and present a report on the war's outcome.
I really wish I would have gotten to use Tanit, because she's actually broken. Aren't you going to take Begnion soldiers with you? You've lent us quite a few.
Though the war may be over, it will take many weeks to see the country secure. I spoke with the princess earlier, and she asked that we help if possible, so I'll leave them in your care a while longer.
We really do owe Begnion a lot, don't we? In the end, we got not only you, but a whole battalion of reinforcements. General Zelgius and his troops are the reason we were able to minimize the casualties during the final battle. He and his men took care of the retreating Dayans and allowed us to focus on the enemies before us. Too bad we didn't ever get him, jeez.
No matter the assistance you had, the victory itself is a result of your strength and leadership.
Somebody gets it.
I know two people who will be very pleased to learn of your triumph.
Please give my thanks to both the Apostle and Sephiran. I plan to go and thank them myself someday, but...
Understood. Farewell, General Ike. I look forward to seeing you again.
Farewell.
Ike, hey handsome. I've decided to return service to the Begnion Pegasus Knights. Cool beans, huh?
Oh, I owe so much to you, Ike. No, I owe so much to you, Marcia. Let's not get it twisted, okay?
Thank you so very much. I'll see you around.
I think I may start over in Begnion. Maybe it's too much, too soon. Nah! Well, let's be honest, he's not changing his ways. No way. But I just want to give a more responsible life. Plus, I'm tired of men threatening to break my knees. Yeah, that does get pretty old. Goodbye, Ike.
Goodbye, General Ike. This war has given me the confidence to enter the service of Begnion Knights. Thank you so much.
Dead Dad is glad all the fighting stopped. Dead Dad prefers peace and quiet. War is not good for anything.
Well, we're going home. All of our desert friends are waiting for us. And wow, do we have some stories to share with them. Like that time I dropped a meteor on one of the Laguz's head. Oh.
Well, maybe not that story. Laguz and Bayor. Perhaps the gap between us has narrowed. War is horrible, yet maybe we've gained something of value after all. Find me when you come to the dunes. We can sit and talk with no fighting. But I'm not going to tell you where I'm at. Fuck you, asshole. Thanks, Stefan. Are you leaving already? Oh, not with Elf too. Yep, I'm out of here. I've got some important guests to convey to the king. Guests?
Sup, Blue? Thanks for rescuing those senators from me again. Leanne, don't you mean I know what I said?
He's talking about us.
We're taking my father to visit Galia for a while. We Herons should live somewhere near a forest after all. Tabarn spoke with King Kanagus on our behalf.
You're not returning to Serenus?
We made our peace with the Apostle. We're not ready to live there again.
I see. But you did the whole thing where you brought him back to life. I could buy it. I could definitely buy it. Too many bad memories, for sure. You'll be able to return someday. Bayork and Laguz will come to understand and respect each other.
You may be right. I hope you are.
Are you ready? We should be leaving soon. This guy is a monster. Gifka, I'm in your debt as well. Galia is a very special place to me. I'd like to visit again someday, if I may. Come whenever you are able. The king will be pleased to see you. And one more thing. Galia will not spare any effort in aiding Crimea's reconstruction. We will be sending supplies and workers to you shortly. That is much appreciated. Nice people. Nice people.
Oh wait, Raisin, Leanne. What is it? Do you think I could touch the medallion one last time? For my mom and dad? Why do you guys bother asking anything? You don't understand me. I could be saying anything.
Of course. Go ahead. Put out your hand.
Alright. Thank you very much.
And then she just goes insane.
Is that enough? Yes, I just wanted to say goodbye. Thank you. And you too, Ike.
What?
And I'd also like to give our heartfelt thanks to your parents as well. For fulfilling the hopes of our sister. Thank you. Ashnar did nothing wrong. Bleed the full breeds. Okay, we're done here. Thanks again, miss. Yes.
Ike, I will help rebuild Crimea too. Jesus Christ, Mordecai is so huge. Is he bigger than Gifka? I should have checked that. He might actually be bigger than Gifka. No joke. This guy is a brick house. He's like another unit that I wish I could have used. Honestly, I don't know how good he would be on Maniac, to be honest, but he's cool. That's all I really care about. He's cool. Never underestimate the power of favoritism, guys.
I can't believe I'm doing this, but I must admit that you've done well.
I would have used Leith too. She's cool.
You're a good fighter. Too good to leave with these Bayork. We'll meet again.
She has an attitude and everything, but like she's alright. She's actually alright, if I remember. Well, it's about time for us to take wing. That's so ridiculous. We built a close bond, haven't we? This is true. We're especially grateful for your help at Serenus Forest. The next time you're visiting the southern coast, come to Phoenicus. The entire country will celebrate your arrival. The country of the Hawk Tribe, eh? That would be fun. I'm interested in what kinds of food you eat. Mostly mice. Small rodents, snakes. Oh god, that sounds awful. No, we collect berries from trees on peaks that no Bayor could climb. The juices and desserts made from it are beyond compare. We have ocean delicacies, mountain treats. We have everything. Mountain treats? I'll pass on the desserts, but I'll take extra helpings of meat. Haha, leave it to me. I hate to interrupt your gleeful chat, but I thought I should tell you. You don't have to visit Kilboss. That's about right. It's our policy not to invite Bayork into our home. Unless, of course, they pay well. Ah, King Kilboss. Despite all your posturing, you came to our aid in the end. You turned out to be a better ally than I dared hope for. Ha! Keep your foolish tongue inside your foolish head. And don't tell anyone. I have a reputation to think of. God forbid they think I'm nice. Farewell. And I'm serious about Phoenicus too. Come anytime. General, the bird tribes are in your debt. We are grateful. Please, take care.
If you ever have need of the king's eyes, fire a flaming arrow from a high place. I'll see it and come flying. That is, if I'm not busy on an errand for the king.
Janet Fidolki, 2 more units that are really cool. Like, everybody in this game is really cool. Everybody in this game is really cool. If you think it's just the characters that I use that have, like, good supports, good characterization, no, it's pretty much everybody except Ilyana. Speaking of which...
General Ike, I will never ever forget you. Thank you for showing me the error of my ways.
Ugh, I'm just glad it's finally over. Maybe now I can get some sleep. Ugh.
Things are gonna be rough in Dayan too. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm heading back.
So here's like the Dayan posse, I guess.
It's my homeland after all.
I have played my part. All that remains is for me to take my leave of this place. History will judge my actions. And my mustache.
Mustan and the others are going to Dayan, and I think I'm going to go with them. Thank you for everything, General Ike. Oh, I'm just so happy this is over. I hope they have packed enough food. I'm pretty hungry.
Crimea is an interesting place, but I've decided to travel to Dayan. Perhaps fate will bring us together again. Who knows? I think the sequel knows. I like that. Everybody had a say. I mean, that's usually how it goes, but somehow it just feels like there was a little bit more here. Maybe I'm just imagining it. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. How odd, Ina. We've been both enemies and allies. Thanks to you, Rajion, was saved, and so was I. Thank you. So you were with King Dayan because you were trying to save Rajion? Yes. Rajion, probably. Yeah, I don't know how I missed that. Ina's fiance went missing many years ago. After Ina finally found him, she came to me for help. She told me that Rajion was with King Dayan, and that he had been warped almost beyond recognition. Long ago, Ina's parents died, and I was unable to do anything for her. Even so, she still came to me for help. No matter what, I had to help her. It was to that end that I used you. I'm so sorry. It's all in the past now. There's nothing for you to worry about any longer. Thank you, Ike. Will Ina return to Goldoa? Yes. We must take Rajion back to his hometown. Are you going to, Nasir? Yes, I am. For the first time in decades, I will walk on Goldoan soil. That'll be nice. Take care of yourself. And give my regards to Kurth Naga. I will, until we meet again. Nasir. I don't know what you thought, but I always trusted you. Except for that one time when I learned of your I never thought of you as the enemy. Huh. Even now you defy my predictions. Prediction? When we were sailing on the coast of Phoenix, remember? I said that war would change how you look at things. And yet, through all that's happened, you've remained the same. I just can't pretend to be anything I'm not. I've never been any good at that. Please stay that way, Ike. Don't change for anyone. I'll see you again, won't I? Yes, I'm sure of it. But only time will tell. Something tells me that yes, Nasir is in fact in the sequel. He's really important, and he got a lot of screen time in this game. It would be such a shame not to see half of these characters again. Although from what I understand, mostly everybody does appear. Right? For the most part. Oh, it's auto-scrolling. It's auto-scrolling. I don't know, guys. This one was really hard fought. This was a really hard fought game. Lots of things I liked, lots of things I didn't like. But you know, for once, I think I'm just gonna kick back and enjoy the ending with you guys. So let's just sit back, relax, watch this all play out, and then once it gets to the character crawl that shows all their endings and whatnot, then I will probably pop back in here. So I will catch you all in a moment. And there it is. And there it is. So they were obviously planning this all along then. They obviously planned this to be a duology right from the beginning.
Everyone to see you.
I'm nervous. I've spent my whole life in hiding. It's just no one ever taught me how to rule a kingdom. I don't think I'm ready to be their queen. I don't think I'm ever really going to be ready.
What's the matter with you?
Ike, stop it. How can
Did anyone teach you how to hire mercenaries?
No, but that's not the same.
How to win back lost allies? How to win back your lost kingdom?
That's different.
No, it's not. You've done such an amazing job, and I think you always will.
I see.
All right. Come on. We'll do this together.
Thank you, my Lord Ike. I am so blessed to have met you.
And so it was that in the spring of the year 646, Alincia Rydell Crimea saw peace return to her homeland. In the years to follow, the story of Queen Alincia and her noble hero Ike spread across the land and inspired the songs of many a wandering troubadour.
Could that be it? Oh yes, that's actually it. The last cutscene in the game, folks. I have no idea what they said. I have no idea what they said at all. None whatsoever. Definitely gonna have to edit in the English version of that before this goes up. Now, Fire Emblem 9. Fire Emblem 9, Path of Radiance. Like I said earlier, good game, would recommend it. Would never ever in a million years recommend Maniac mode, and there's a lot of reasons why. The beginning of the game started out pretty good. I'm talking just strictly gameplay. Obviously the story, fantastic. The music, fantastic. The characters, fantastic. 10 out of 10, would play again. If it were just that. But Maniac mode. Wow, where do I even begin with Maniac mode? It really seems to up the bullshit factor, to be perfectly honest. I'm not gonna mince words with that. That's really what it feels like to me. Oh, I like these stills. I like these stills we're getting here. Those are cool. Those are really cool. The beginning of the game on Maniac mode seemed like it was going in the right direction, maybe. Right from the beginning, it felt like enemy numbers were a little bit excessive, but nothing too crazy for what you would call Maniac mode, right? And there was also the whole fact that you get less experience per enemies, so by increasing the number of enemies, you kind of compensate a little bit so you can still level your characters up pretty reasonably. You're not really too hindered in the early game, and it really felt more like what you were doing was more important than who you were using, or especially in the late game, and this is a huge problem I have, what their stats were. By the end of the game, it kind of felt like a gigantic stat check. That's all the game really felt like at that point, just one big stat check. And if you don't know what I mean, I just mean it felt like how high the numbers on your characters were is what determined the difficulty. If I had a team of units that could reliably go out into hordes of enemies, hold their own, one round everything that needed to be one rounded, and not really have a good chance of dying, then the endgame would have been simple. There would have been nothing to it. I could have done almost anything at that point and I would have won. On the other hand, if you're in a situation where I was using a large number of characters, which is admittedly something that the game probably doesn't want you to do on Maniac mode. If I could just go on a little tangent real quick, it just seemed like their mentality here was, okay, if you're playing a mode called Maniac mode, you know all the little tricks of Fire Emblem, right? You know the little exploits and all the ways to make the game easier on yourself, like low manning, who's a good unit, who's not a good unit, that sort of thing. So it really doesn't feel like they expected, on Maniac mode at least, that you would be using a wide variety of characters. So that's something that definitely made it harder on myself than it would otherwise be. So I don't necessarily think it's fair to strictly dock points for that, because you gotta figure, if I was using a smaller group of units, that the units that I was using would be more powerful, right? So it definitely feels as though they designed this mode with that in mind, but it feels like it really falls apart. I've already said my piece on 1 to 2 range. That sucks. That's horrible, because Ike is really the only person by the late game who has any kind of 1 to 2 range that's even worth a damn. Hand axes and javelins are really only getting you so far, guys. I know that's like hearsay. That's crazy. You would never say that about any other Fire Emblem game. Besides Fates, I guess. But here, it's like, it really is such a big deal that 1 to 2 range options are so poor. The only real 1 to 2 range options are, again, forges and mages to an extent, but they feel really lackluster on this mode. Especially because you can't reasonably put them out in these gigantic waves of enemies that the game expects you to be able to handle. I mean, how frequently do you think that I was placing units in range of 5, 6, 7 plus enemies at the same time? Because that's just how large the waves were. That wasn't me trying to be Mr. Badass or anything. It just kind of worked out like that. The enemies were so numerous that really the only chance you had to take on these gigantic numbers of physical units was another physical unit of your own. Using magic users for that, you can pick off enemies with that, sure. That's no problem. Ooh, we get the, what is this, the Galdr of Life? Or something like that. I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head. I lost my train of thought. But essentially it just snowballed. It just snowballed. And you might be thinking, okay, well, if you do these things, if you just capitalize on all the little tricks and whatnot, then what's the problem with Maniac mode? My problem with that is that once you start low manning, once you have a predetermined team right from the outset, then the game swings in the other direction where it's really easy and therefore boring, I guess. Ease doesn't necessarily make it boring, but in this case, the combination of all these factors combined with the really long enemy phases and everything, it would just be super boring. And I'll tell you why, because if you were to use just the best units, if you were to perfectly optimize this, the characters that were kicking ass in my run would be even better. Okay, they'd be so much better. I didn't even really get into this, but there's the Square of Death support like tree, whatever you want to call it. There's 4 characters that can just snap the game in half by themselves. And I noticed this when I was looking up supports for how I was gonna go about the supports that I actually showed in this playthrough and whatnot. But you can support Oscar with Tonic, which is an Earth support, so it's the same thing as Ike and Oscar essentially. So you can support Oscar with Tonic, who can then support Marcia, who can then support Kieran, who can then support Oscar. Game over, right? The game is over the second you do that. Those 4 units are already insanely good. I didn't get to show off Tonic whatsoever, but trust me, she's really good. She has really solid base stats. She's a flyer. She can use magic swords. She has reinforce, which is a really good ability because her reinforcements are actually pretty powerful. So it's like, you have those 4 units and you've automatically won. And if I wasn't using 17, 18, 19, 20 units, and was instead using 12, rotating in filler units here and there, those 4 units would all cap out.
And Ike, he would be totally fine. He would be completely fine. We already saw that once he has Wrath plus Resolve, he essentially has as much Avoid as he would with Oscar Ike support at max level. So it's like, those 5 units right there are all you really need to beat the game. Not to mention you need to have Racing available, and Titania still being Titania. And it's like, where's the challenge really? Where's the challenge really at that point? Because if Oscar would have never died, if Marcia would have had those supports, meaning she would have never died. She rarely died for me as is, right? But with those crazy supports, she would never die. I already said Marcia, but if I had raised Kieran, he would never die. Tanith would never die. So it swings the pendulum in the opposite direction, really, whereas what I played was really frustrating and just lackluster in the end game. If you were to completely optimize it, it would just be really boring and tedious. So Maniac mode just, it fails no matter what you do. And not to mention some of the map redesigns were really, really questionable. Like the, I can't remember what chapter number it is off the top of my head, but the mission where you're fighting the priest, or you're supposed to be saving the priest, I guess. That was really, really sketch. That was really sketch. It was really stupid to add a bunch of 1 to 2 range bishops in there. Do we not get characters? Do we not get win-loss? Really? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Turn counts and win-loss, probably. But it just feels like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If you try to have fun, not use the most broken units, try to use a wide variety of units, you're screwed. Because you lose out on that clear bonus, which is a huge thing that I didn't really make nearly as big of a deal about as I should have. But on hard difficulty below, you get bonus experience just for clearing a chapter. So that means, essentially, leveling up is a non-issue. You can use really just about anybody at all, and you'd be perfectly fine. You can keep everybody up to a reasonable pace, and it wouldn't be nearly as bad. It wouldn't be nearly as bad. But not only do you not get that clear bonus, but the bonus you do get for a best clear is cut in half. So if you get 200 bonus experience in Maniac mode, that would be 400 bonus experience on hard or below, and then it scales from there. So normal's like 600 experience or whatever. I'm just throwing numbers out, but you get the idea, I hope. And it just, it just snowballs. It just snowballs out of control. So you can't really use anybody but the best. And then not even to mention the character balance, which is all over the place on this difficulty. If you are a sword unit lover, if you like Mia, if you like Zihark, if you like... oh, rip Gotri. If you like any sword user that's not Ike or Stefan, just forget it. Just forget it, because all the 1 to 2 range in this game makes those characters complete liabilities. Really, it only shows wins? Well, that's a little bit disappointing. I guess showing 9,998 billion battles for Marcia would be a little bit cumbersome. Don't know how they would program that, so I can understand. But as I was saying, sword users completely worthless, which is hugely disappointing to me. Hugely disappointing. I like Zihark. Why do you think I kept bringing him when he was like a level 15 swordmaster at chapter 25? Because I like Zihark. I like the guy. I like Mia. She wouldn't be good here. She would be even worse than Zihark, to be honest. But I do like Mia. Just using her would be impossible. Good luck with all the short spears. That's all I can really say. Not only are you facing weapon triangle, but you can't retaliate, so you're shooting yourself in the foot by even thinking about it. It's just such a shame that half the cast feels like they can't... Well, no. I shouldn't say half the cast. There is really still a good chance that I would say that if you were to select a small group of units, you could use almost any combination of units to fill up that small group, okay? Let's be clear about that. I do actually believe that much. But on the other hand, some units are screwed no matter what you do. No matter what you do. I defy you to use all 3 swordmasters. All 4, I guess, technically. But I defy you to pull that off. It would be absolute insanity. Because they can't do a goddamn thing. Especially with some of the maps. Oh, wow, Jill is 5th? You're kidding me. Hell yeah, Jill. Hell yeah, Jill. Okay, here's where it's going to be made or lost. Is it going to be Titania? Oh, it's Marcia. Titania wins. Titania wins. By a lot, actually. Holy shit. That's my girl. Etta girl. Oh my god, Titania. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love it. I love all of it. That puts me in a good mood. That does my heart well. Let's just leave that there because this was the epitome of everything I was talking about. This right here just sums up everything that I could say. A picture is worth 1,000 words, as they say. So let's talk about the good, right? The story, absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. The writing in this game, bar none, is the best in this series. Don't even, like you probably can't convince me otherwise. It's really just not likely. The only one that could maybe hold a candle would be Radiant Dawn, and I wouldn't know. I haven't played it. This game just does everything right in terms of writing. From, well, especially characterization. Every character is just a blast. Every character is a blast. If you were to ask me my favorite, probably Jill. Probably Jill. I know that's probably a cop-out answer. I know almost everybody would say, yeah, Jill is the best written character in the game, but she is. She's fantastically written. Phenomenally written. I don't think any other character in the entire series really holds a candle to just how well she was handled. Especially considering she's a minor character. She's better written than most main characters, I would say. I can't think of a single main character that's actually better. That's actually better off. And for a minor character, and that's what really blows my mind about it. She has an entire arc devoted to her, just an entire developmental cycle. And I think it's mostly optional too. You don't have to get all of that. You don't have to explore her entire backstory, but it's there. And if you explore the game, if you really take the time to learn about the characters in the world, you get this really amazing thing. That's a really good descriptive word, Delta G's. You get this amazing backstory to somebody who overall has minimal impact on the plot, right? That's amazing. You have somebody like Titania, who is also really well written. She's also incredibly well written, just for her. I really like her snark. I know that's like a personal thing. Maybe some people find that annoying, but I think it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious. In fact, all the Grail mercenaries are really tightly written, and you can really feel like they almost feel more like a family, you know? And I think that's what they were going for. But Titania in particular, you have her backstory with Grail that's never explicitly stated, but it's pretty implied that there was some sort of, like, well, see, that's the thing. Subtlety, right? Subtlety is the name of the game here. I was gonna say that it's implied that there's this sort of romantic interest there, but you don't know that necessarily. The game doesn't outright come out and say Titania loved Grail. There's implication, sure, but you don't know to what extent that is. It could be purely a deep respect for him. It could be a romantic thing. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe it's explained in a support somewhere. But even then, throughout the main campaign, from what we see, there's just so much I could say about this. There's just so much I could say about it. And I think that it's something that's really lost, even in more recent Fire Emblem games. Even in something like Echoes that I feel like brought it back to a more reasonable level. I feel like the storytelling in that game was better than we had seen in a few iterations prior. But still, nothing on the level of this. It's so important, I feel like, to not spell out everything. And that's why I use Titania as an example, because specifically her relationship to Grail is never just outright stated. I feel like in a more recent game it would say Titania loved Grail, end of story. But here it's just implied with her actions, with her words. How she responds to finding that Ike had fought the Black Knight, but Ike didn't bother to tell her. And how that completely sets her off. You know, Titania, a character who's normally cool, composed, that kind of thing. It does so much more to show and not tell. Show and not tell. And I know that can be kind of confusing in a game that's 95% text, right? How many voice scenes were there? Like 5, 6? So I understand that there's sort of a restriction in that. But this game nails it. This game nails it.
It doesn't tell you how a character feels. It shows you how a character feels. It doesn't say this is what's happening in their mind. It shows you this is what's happening in their mind by the way that they act, by the way that they might treat their comrades, you know, that sort of thing. And it's fantastic. It's completely fantastic. If you were a new player who wanted to get into the series, Fire Emblem 9 would be a perfect choice, I would say. A perfect choice, if not for the fact that it's like $150 to buy the goddamn game. Maybe not $150, but it's a quite expensive game. It's at least $80 to $100, I would say, if you were trying to pick up a copy. Of course, there are other ways, but we don't talk about those. But the fact of the matter is, if you're not playing Maniac mode, this is a phenomenal game. Phenomenal game. Perhaps a little bit on the easier side, which is why, again, I would say, if you were looking to get into the series, this is a great starting point. It really shows a lot of what the series has to offer without being too overbearing, too intimidating, while still providing a good amount of depth and giving you a cast of characters that I feel almost anybody could enjoy. You'd be hard-pressed not to find one character that you enjoyed, because there's a very good diversity. There's a very good diversity. Even somebody like Shinon, who, like, Shinon's also really well written. I know going back to the characters, but Shinon's a dick, but he has his reasons. Soren's a dick, but he has his reasons. You know, there's nothing just is, really. Nothing just is, which is something that I like a lot. I know. Let's go back to the story. Let's fanboy over the story for another 5 minutes. I could go on about the story for the rest of this video. I could have gone on about the story for this entire video, and I probably still wouldn't have run out of things to say. Musically, fantastic. It goes really without saying. I didn't really touch on the music too much, but it's really good. I think it's probably the first game to really feature a more orchestral style, but I really liked it. I liked the chapter theme from the midsection of the game, from like 17 to... No, from like 15 through the end of 17. I liked that track. It's Change of Scenery, I believe it's called. I liked the final arc chapter musics as well. That was really good. The battle themes were kick-ass, from even just the regular generic battle theme at the beginning of the game, and I liked how it shifted at the midway point. I like how you actually got new generic battle themes. Obviously, it goes without saying the boss themes are fantastic. Ashnard is great. The Black Knight is phenomenal. Not really... I mean, I could talk about the music for as long as I talked about the story, and I'd probably still be here for 10 minutes after that, still going on and on and on. The art style. Maybe this is more of a personal preference, but I really, really like the art style in this game. It is fantastic. It is even better than I remembered going back, because I had to make the thumbnails for all of this, but seeing the character art in their full detail, this is a really, really well-styled game, I think. I really like these half-character portraits. It's a really good balance between game and realistic, I think. It's a great balance between the two. I think Echoes, I mean, which game am I fanboying about here, right? I think Echoes does a good job about that too, but I think that one aired more on the cartoony side, but this one seems more realistic, and I like it. I dig it. I'm really about this. Oh. I've probably babbled for about 15-20 minutes now, huh? So, before I talk for another hour, I think I'll wrap it up and say that if you haven't played this game, I definitely would steer clear of Maniac mode, guys. It's not good. It's really not good. Not at all. It has its moments. It has its little twinkles of brilliance here and there. But on the whole, I would say tedious is more the word I would use to describe Maniac mode. For a new player, I would say hard could provide a decent challenge while still allowing you to experience the full glory of the storyline and all the other good things that this game has to offer. But Maniac mode, for American players, I wouldn't go out of your way to bother trying to play it. For Japanese players, or players who have the Japanese version, I guess more specifically, I don't think it's worth it to hunt down a copy just for Maniac mode. But if you're somebody like me who can really appreciate the value of a good story, good music, good presentation, good overall game, then I would say, yeah, Fire Emblem 9 rates really highly for people who enjoy that kind of thing. Anyways,
to everybody that has watched the video to this point, all 4 of you, and to everybody who has enjoyed and supported this series from the beginning and at any point in between, I would say thank you for watching. It's been a hell of a ride, a lot of fun, a lot of frustration at some points, but overall it's been a pretty enjoyable experience. There's still a few little details here and there that I want to go over in this game. The 3 Laguz Royals that I didn't really get to show off, and the millions and millions of boss conversations that Ashnard has. It's going to take a while to do that, guys. I'm going to have to play through the final map legitimately. Well, I shouldn't say legitimately. I didn't cheat, but I'm going to have to play through the final map the long way several times to get all of those. So, it could be a while, to say the least. Anyways, I will catch you all later. Till next time, peace.